Well, here we go again. Welcome back to the channel. My name is David Hughes Jr. and I am tired. All right. But I was thinking while I was studying and while I was watching these videos, I felt like I didn't do my first coding video justice. I don't think I did it correctly. All right. And so with that being said, I just kind of want to go into another level of depth with you guys. All right. And so with that being said, we're gonna go back to Freemote. If you watched my last video, you know that is the coding bootcamp that I chose to participate in, and I gave my pros and cons of the platform, you know, in its totality. However, I don't think I broke it down, you know, well in terms of the week. So we're gonna shoot back over there for a second. We're gonna shoot back on the site, and I'm gonna just kind of give a breakdown on why I think the first week was amazing and why I think that is a great program for people who, you know, thinking about getting into coding but don't have, you know, they want a kind of, how can I say this? They want a boost of help, but they don't want to spend a lot of money, and they want to be freelance developers. This is what this is designed for. All right. And so I just want to talk about week one, HTML and CSS crash course. And it's definitely a crash course, and it's a good crash course. So I just want to go through and kind of give my opinions and talk about how long it took me to finish some of this stuff and exactly what I, you know, struggled on for the most part, coming from a guy who doesn't have a lot of experience. And, you know, we're going to get into this thing. We're going to get into it. So let's start off in the beginning. All right. As you can see right here, it said web development overview. All right. And so throughout this section of the HTML and CSS, he breaks down, that's Aaron Jack, that is, he breaks down how you're going to set up your development, you know, lifestyle, how you're going to set up everything from going to how you're going to set up VS Code. And if you don't know what that is basically the tool that you're going to use in order to write your code. Okay. And so they show you what the life of a developer is, kind of breaking down what you're going to need to start up. So this is basically the startup kit. Next, they give you the HTML basics, and then, you know, he goes from just going through the entire thing. He gives great examples on and great tutorials on how to set up your shortcuts, how to do the shortcuts that's in VS Code. He also breaks down everything well. All right. And so it's no different from when I did Free Code Camp. You know, it's not entirely different in terms of the information, because the HTML is very simple. But he does a great job of breaking it down, especially for people who are, you know, new to coding. All right. And so the HTML portion, I ran through pretty quickly. It took me no time. I honestly, if you can do this full time, this week one, you can get it done. Let's just say you sat down and you had like an entire 4 days. The HTML part, honestly, you probably could get through in a couple days. It's not going to take you long to get through this HTML portion. All right, the CSS part. Now, that's when, for me, you know, being a guy, like I said, no experience, it really took it to another level then. Now, the beginning portions weren't bad. Like, nothing about CSS for me was hard, except for when you get to the projects. I want to say, when I got the flex box, I kind of was shaky a little bit, but when I got to the very first project, he gives you a project towards the end of CSS, and like the tutorials and the videos and stuff, they're not long. They're straight to the point. You don't beat around the bush, so that's great. But once you get into the projects, that's when you're gonna see where your skills are. And when people say that you need to do as many projects as possible, That's exactly what you need to be doing, as many projects as possible. And I will be doing more projects now if I wasn't just continuing the program. And I want to kind of set aside some time, if I can, to just sit around and do projects, like just copy different pages or copy different things people already done. Just look at it and do it, you know what I'm saying, and look at the results later. But I just kind of wanted to give a more in-depth review on their HTML and CSS portion of Freemote. And so, like I said earlier, he is straight to the point. No beating around the bush in the HTML portion. You can finish that very, very quickly. The CSS portions are the same way, very, very much to the point. But he does a great job of breaking it down, and he does a great job of bringing it home. All right, and so that's important for somebody who is new, especially if you're somebody who learns through visualization, seeing somebody else do it and then copying it yourself. I will recommend it that you, when you see him do something, when you see anybody, even if it's not Freemote, if you see somebody doing something, you should be emulating it and doing it along with them. Don't just watch videos. You need to be interacting with the videos. So it's, even if you just want to learn self-taught, and you learn self-taught, if you're self-teaching yourself, you're teaching yourself, whatever, you need to be following along, actively following along. All right, and because it's one thing to, you know, watch a video, you're not going to retain the information that way. And I found that if I was just to watch these videos, I probably could have done it even quicker. But I work a full-time job, as you know, if you watched my last video. But I could easily ran through this, like the video, because the videos aren't long. There's a couple of videos that are a little bit longer, but the videos themselves aren't long. In the beginning, you will probably feel like you're knocking things out fairly quickly, but however, that will change once you get toward the end and you start doing those projects. Maybe you're just, you know, very, very good at this and it takes you no time at all. However, it took me a little bit of time. Like the first project took me 2 days to finish, and if I had to put time on it, it took me a lot of time to finish the first one. But after the first one, I was pretty much good. The rest of them didn't take as long. It did take a little bit of time, but it didn't take long. And I say 2 days, like one day I may have spent, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours trying to figure things. Like I had it done, but it wasn't correct, if that makes sense. So let's just say, for example, you were working on a website and you got everything done except there's one thing you don't know, and then you spend hours putting hours figuring out this one thing, and then when you figure that out, it's like something else ain't right, because that one thing you figured out, guess what it did? It changed something. So now you got to figure out that as well. And so that's a problem. You'll kind of, you know, you'll go through that issue. But with all that being said, man, great course, great everything. And right now I'm in week 2. I just finished it and it's 11:15. I just kind of put, you know, I just strapped up and I was like, I'm going in. It's Saturday right now. I'm gonna try to release these videos as soon as I can. But I just, like, I sat down and I was like, let's just get through week 2 so I can feel like I caught up. So I'm in week 3 and this is my 3rd week. So I'm not gonna talk about week 2 a lot because I want to say that for an entirely different video, and then I'll be caught up to speed entirely for you guys. But that is my initial thoughts on week 1, the HTML and the CSS. If you have any questions, any thing you want to ask me, drop it down below in the comment section, man. I'm willing to answer all questions. I'm very, very fresh, very, very new. So if you have any suggestions on, you know, just things inside of the tech world, just comment them down below in the comment section. I'll see y'all in the next video. Continue to grind and also continue to shine. My name is David Hughes Jr. and I'll see you guys in the next video.